The cold darkness of space stretched endlessly around the alien ship. Commander Veltar stood on the bridge of his massive vessel, watching the small blue planet through the viewing screen. Earth looked so peaceful from this distance. So helpless. He almost felt sorry for the humans living there. Almost. "Sir, all fleet commanders are ready," reported his second-in-command, a tall alien with gray skin and 4 arms. 847 ships are in position. Veltar nodded slowly. His fleet was the largest attack force the Galactic Council had ever assembled. Each ship could destroy entire cities with a single blast. Together, they could turn planets into dust. And they were all here for one simple job: kill every human before they became dangerous. "Have they noticed us yet?" Veltar asked. "No, sir. Our hiding technology is working perfectly. The humans cannot see us." Veltar smiled, showing sharp teeth. The humans were still using simple technology. They had barely learned to travel between their own planets. They knew nothing about real space travel or advanced weapons. This would be easy. But easy did not mean unnecessary. The Galactic Council had been watching humans for 50 years. They had seen human wars, human violence, human anger. Humans fought each other constantly. They never gave up. They never surrendered. They always found new ways to kill. "Sir, look at this," another alien officer said, pointing to a screen full of numbers. "In the last 100 years, humans have invented thousands of new weapons. They went from simple metal swords to nuclear bombs in just a few centuries." Veltar studied the data. It was true. Humans learned fast, too fast. Other species took thousands of years to develop such weapons. Humans did it in the blink of an eye. "And look at this," the officer continued. "They fight wars on multiple continents at the same time. They create weapons that can kill millions, then they make even bigger weapons. They never stop." This was exactly why the Galactic Council feared them. Humans were not the strongest species in the galaxy. They were not the smartest, but they were the most dangerous. Give them a few more centuries, and they would have ships like Veltar's fleet. Give them 1,000 years, and they might conquer the entire galaxy. The Council could not allow that to happen. Far below on the blue planet, Admiral Hyunwoo Kim sat in his office on Luna Station, Earth's moon base. He was looking at reports that made no sense. Strange readings from the edge of the solar system. Gravity waves that should not exist. Energy signatures that appeared and disappeared like ghosts. "Sir, you need to see this," Lieutenant Boram Park said as she entered his office. She was young but brilliant, one of the best sensor operators in the Human Defense Force. Hyunwoo looked up from his papers. "What is it, Lieutenant?" "These readings from the outer system. They're not natural. Something big is out there. Maybe a lot of somethings." Hyunwoo frowned. "How big?" "Ship-sized, sir. Maybe bigger." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Humans had never met aliens before. They had always wondered if other intelligent life existed in the universe. But they had never found proof. Until now. "How many ships?" Hyunwoo asked quietly. Boram checked her tablet. "The computer estimates between 800 and 1,000 objects. All of them are hiding behind some kind of technology we don't understand." Hyunwoo felt ice in his stomach. One alien ship would be amazing. 1,000 alien ships could only mean one thing: invasion. "Alert Admiral Su-Jin immediately," he ordered. "Tell her we have a code black situation." "Yes, sir." As Boram left, Hyunwoo stared out the window at Earth below. Billions of people lived on that blue world. Most of them had no idea that death might be coming from the stars. On Earth, Dr. Taemin Cho was working late in his laboratory. He was one of the world's leading experts on the possibility of alien life. For years, he had been telling anyone who would listen that first contact with aliens might not be peaceful. "Look at human history," he often said in his lectures. "When a more advanced civilization meets a less advanced one, what happens? The advanced one usually destroys the other." Most people thought he was being too negative. They imagined aliens would be wise and peaceful, coming to Earth to share knowledge and friendship. Taemin hoped they were right, but he feared they were wrong. His computer beeped. A message from Luna Station. "Emergency priority," Taemin read. The message twice before he understood it. Then he sat down heavily in his chair. He had been right to worry. 1,000 alien ships had been found at the edge of the solar system. They were hiding. That meant they did not want to be seen. That meant they were not here to make friends. Meanwhile, Admiral Sujin Han was in a secret meeting deep underground. The room was small and windowless. Only 6 people in the entire world knew about this place. These 6 people knew humanity's greatest secret. "Project Aegis is ready," reported General Wan-Shik Lee. "All platforms are in position and fully operational." Sujin nodded. For 20 years, she had been preparing for this day. While the world focused on building better spaceships and stronger weapons, she had been working on something completely different, something the aliens would never expect. "How many platforms do we have?" she asked. 2,847, ma'am. They're scattered throughout the solar system, hidden inside asteroids, disguised as old satellites built into mining stations. The enemy will never see them coming. "And the quantum tunnels?" "Tested and ready. We can open a tunnel anywhere in the solar system in less than 3 seconds." Sujin smiled grimly. The aliens thought they were hunting sheep. They had no idea they were about to fight wolves. Back on Veltar's ship, the final preparations were complete. Every weapon was charged. Every shield was active. The fleet was arranged in perfect attack formation. "Sir, shall we begin?" asked his second-in-command. Veltar looked at Earth one last time. In a few hours, that beautiful blue world would be a lifeless rock. All those humans would be dead. It was necessary, but it was still sad. "Send the message first," he ordered. "Give them a chance to surrender." The communication beam shot across space toward Earth. In simple language, it demanded humanity's immediate surrender. "Submit to the Galactic Council," the message said. "Accept slavery or face total destruction." On Luna Station, Hyun-woo received the message. He read it aloud to his staff, and the room fell silent. "They want us to surrender," he said finally. "What do we tell them, sir?" Bo-Ram asked. Hyun-woo looked at the faces around him. These were good people, brave people. They had families on Earth. They had dreams and hopes and plans for the future. "We tell them no," he said quietly. "We tell them that humans don't surrender." He opened a channel to Admiral Sujin. "Ma'am, the aliens have made their demand. They want us to give up without a fight." "And our response?" Sujin asked. "We fight. Then it's time to show them what humans are really capable of. Activate Project Aegis. Let's teach these aliens why they should have left us alone." In the darkness of space, the alien fleet began to move toward Earth. 847 ships of death, carrying enough firepower to destroy civilizations. They had no idea they were flying into a trap that would change the galaxy forever. The alien fleet moved through space like a wall of death. 847 ships, each one larger than anything humans had ever built. Their hulls were black metal that seemed to drink light. Strange symbols glowed along their sides, marking them as vessels of the mighty Galactic Council. Commander Veltar stood on his bridge, watching the distance to Earth shrink on his screens. "Drop the hiding technology," he ordered. "Let them see us. Let them understand how hopeless this is." Across the solar system, the alien ships became visible. They appeared like a dark cloud blotting out the stars. The sight was terrifying and beautiful at the same time. On Luna Station, every alarm was screaming. Admiral Hyun-woo watched his screens fill with red dots. Each dot was an enemy ship. There were so many that they overlapped, creating a solid mass of red covering his display. "Dear God," whispered Lieutenant Bo-Ram Park. "There are so many of them." "Count?" Hyun-woo asked, though he dreaded the answer. 847 confirmed contacts, sir. The largest ship is 5 kilometers long. Sir, just one of those ships could destroy our entire fleet, Hyun-woo felt the weight of responsibility crushing down on him. 23 human ships versus 847 alien monsters. It was impossible. But humans had faced impossible odds before. "Signal Captain Jin-Ho Lee," he ordered. "Tell him to form defensive line Delta 7 near Jupiter." Captain Jin-Ho Lee received the order aboard his ship, the Soul's Pride. It was one of humanity's newest cruisers, but it looked like a toy compared to the alien vessels approaching them. "Weapons Officer Seo," Jin-Ho called to his crew. "Status on the plasma lances?" Young Mai Seo checked her instruments. "All weapons ready, Captain. But, sir, Our biggest guns won't even scratch those alien ships. Jinho nodded grimly. I know. But we follow orders. We make our stand here. Throughout the human fleet, similar conversations were happening. Brave men and women preparing to die fighting an enemy they could never defeat. Or so they thought. Down on Earth, Dr. Tae Min Cho was frantically analyzing the alien transmissions. His computers were working overtime, trying to decode the enemy's language and technology. Fascinating, he muttered as data scrolled across his screens. Their technology is incredibly advanced, but it's all based on conventional physics. Energy, weapons, particle beams, gravity manipulation. Very powerful, but nothing we haven't theorized about. He paused, studying a particularly interesting reading. They seem to have no knowledge of quantum tunnel technology at all. How strange. They're more advanced than us in almost every way, but they missed something we discovered 50 years ago. This was important information, but Taemin wasn't sure why yet. He quickly sent his findings to Admiral Sujin Han. Sujin received the data in her underground command center. Around her, dozens of technicians monitored screens showing the positions of hidden weapons platforms throughout the solar system. To the aliens, these platforms looked like space junk, old satellites, broken mining equipment, chunks of asteroid rock. Nothing worth noticing. Ma'am, reported Colonel Minho Park. All quantum platforms are online. We have clear targeting, solutions on every enemy ship. Wait, Sujin ordered. Let them get closer. I want them all inside the grid before we act. The alien fleet continued its approach. Veltar was pleased with how smoothly everything was going. Begin charging main. Weapons, he commanded. Prepare to fire on my order. Throughout the alien fleet, massive guns began to glow with deadly energy. Each ship carried enough firepower to level mountains. Together, they could crack planets. Sir, reported his weapons officer, we're detecting human ships near Jupiter. 23 vessels in defensive formation. Veltar laughed. 23 ships? That's their entire fleet? This is even easier than I thought. They might as well be throwing rocks at us. Should we target them first, sir? No. Let them watch. First, we destroy their homeworld. Then we hunt down the survivors. I want them to see their planet die. I want them to understand the price of defying the Galactic Council. But Captain Jinho and his crew were not planning to just watch. As the alien fleet passed their position, Jinho opened communications with all human ships. This is Captain Lee to all vessels. The enemy thinks we're helpless. They think we're primitives with simple weapons. They're about to learn how wrong they are. Prepare for Operation Thunderstrike. Young Mi Seo's hands flew over her controls, but she wasn't activating plasma lances or missile launchers. Instead, she was powering up humanity's most secret weapon, quantum tunnel projectors. 50 years earlier, human scientists had discovered how to create tiny holes in space itself. These holes, called quantum tunnels, could connect any 2 points in the universe instantly. At first, they had only been able to make tunnels the size of atoms, but decades of research had made them larger. Much larger. The alien fleet had no idea what was coming. Sir, an alien sensor operator reported to Veltar. The human ships are powering up some kind of unknown technology. We've never seen readings like this before. Veltar frowned. Unknown technology? From these primitives? Impossible. They barely have space travel. Sir, the readings are getting stronger. And sir, we're detecting similar energy signatures from hundreds of points. Throughout the system, old satellites, mining stations, asteroid debris, they're all showing the same unusual readings. For the first time, Veltar felt a flutter of uncertainty. Are you telling me those humans have hidden weapons throughout their entire solar system? I don't know, sir. These readings don't match any known weapon technology. Veltar made a decision that would doom his entire fleet. It doesn't matter. They're primitives. Whatever tricks they have, our shields and armor can handle them. All ships, target Earth. Prepare to fire. 847 alien ships turned their massive guns toward the blue planet. The weapons began to charge, building up energy that could melt continents. In her command center, Admiral Sujin watched the enemy fleet arrange itself for the attack. Every alien ship was now inside her trap. It was time. All platforms, this is Admiral Han. The enemy has revealed their intentions. They're targeting Earth for destruction. You are authorized to engage. Show them what happens when someone threatens humanity. Throughout the solar system, hidden weapons platforms came alive. Old satellites suddenly bristled with energy. Broken mining equipment revealed itself to be sophisticated weapons systems. Chunks of asteroid opened up to show gleaming machinery inside. "Sir!" the alien sensor operator screamed. "The entire system is lighting up. There are thousands of hidden installations. Sir, we're surrounded." But it was too late for warnings. The quantum tunnels opened. These were not the tiny holes that early human scientists had created. These were gaping wounds in space itself, each one large enough to swallow a building, and they opened directly inside the alien ships. On the Sols, Pride, young Misio smiled as her instruments showed perfect targeting locks. "Quantum tunnels ready, Captain." "Fire," Jinho ordered. The first quantum tunnel opened inside the command center of the largest alien dreadnought. One moment, Veltar was standing on his bridge giving orders. The next moment, a piece of space itself opened next to his command chair, and Arctic cold rushed in from the void. But that was just the beginning. The tunnel expanded, and suddenly, half of the alien ship's bridge was gone, sucked out into the vacuum of space. Emergency alarms screamed as atmosphere rushed out through the impossible hole. "What's happening?" Veltar shouted, but his voice was lost in the roar of escaping air. Across the alien fleet, similar disasters were happening. Quantum tunnels opened in engine rooms, weapons bays, and life support systems. The aliens' shields were useless because the attacks came from inside their own ships. Their armor meant nothing because the weapons bypassed it completely. "Sir," Colonel Minho reported to Admiral Sujin, "first wave of quantum strikes successful. Enemy ships are taking massive internal damage." Sujin watched her tactical display as red dots began winking out. Each disappearing light meant an alien, ship destroyed or crippled. In the first 30 seconds of the attack, 200 enemy vessels were already gone. "Continue firing," she ordered. "Don't give them time to adapt." But the aliens had no way to adapt. They had never encountered weapons that attacked through folded space. Their technology, for all its advancement, was based on normal physics. They understood energy and matter, but they had never learned to bend space itself. Captain Youngsu Jang, commanding the Earth destroyer Busan Thunder, opened quantum tunnels directly into the fuel tanks of 6 alien cruisers. The ships exploded in brilliant fireballs that lit up the darkness of space. "Target the big ones," he ordered his crew. "Take down their dreadnoughts." His navigation officer, Hyejin Kim, was using quantum sensors to track every enemy ship. The aliens were trying to retreat, but quantum technology could reach them anywhere in the solar system. "I have locks on the entire fleet, sir," she reported. "None of them can escape." The battle that was supposed to be humanity's destruction had become an alien massacre. Ships that had conquered 17 star systems were being torn apart by weapons they couldn't understand or defend against. Commander Veltar's ship was dying around him. Emergency lights flickered as systems failed. The bridge was full of smoke and the screams of injured crew. The space around Earth had become a graveyard. Where moments before there had been 847 alien warships, now there was only wreckage and fire. Pieces of destroyed vessels drifted slowly through the void, their metal hulls, torn open like broken toys. Commander Veltar's flagship was still alive, but barely. Smoke filled the bridge as emergency systems struggled to keep the ship functional. Half his crew was dead. The other half was injured or in shock. "Status report," Veltar demanded, coughing as smoke burned his lungs. "Sir, we've lost main power, weapons systems, and engines," his second-in-command reported. The alien's gray skin was burned, and one of his 4 arms hung uselessly at his side. "Life support is failing. We have maybe an hour of air left. The Yaoi fleet? Gone, sir. All of them. 846 ships destroyed in less than 8 minutes." Veltar stared at the tactical display in disbelief. The screen showed only one green dot remaining from his mighty armada. One ship out of 847. It was impossible. These were the same humans who had been using simple rockets just a few decades ago. "How?" he whispered. "How did they do this?" On Luna Station, Admiral Hyunwoo was asking himself the same question, but for different reasons. The battle was over so quickly that his mind couldn't process what had happened. 23 human ships had just destroyed the largest alien fleet in galactic history. "Lieutenant Boram," he said slowly, "confirm our losses." Boram checked her screens carefully. "Sir, we have 0 casualties. No damage to any human vessel. All 23 ships report fully operational status." 0 casualties, Hyunwoo repeated. "We just fought 800 alien warships and suffered 0 casualties." "Yes, sir. The quantum tunnel technology worked perfectly. The aliens never had a chance to fight back." Throughout the human fleet, similar conversations were happening. Crews that had expected to die in glorious battle were instead celebrating complete victory. The enemy was gone, and they were all still alive. Captain Jin-Ho Lee stood on the bridge of the Soul's Pride, looking out at the debris field that had once been an invasion fleet. "Young Mi, did our sensors record everything?" "Yes, Captain," Young Mi Seo replied. "We have complete battle data. Every quantum tunnel strike, every enemy ship destroyed. The Admiral is going to want to study this." "I bet she is. This changes everything, doesn't it?" Young Mi nodded. "Sir, if we can do this to them, we can do it to anyone. No conventional fleet can stand against quantum tunnel weapons." On Earth, Dr. Tae-min Cho was frantically analyzing the battle data as it streamed in from the fleet. What he saw amazed him. The aliens had possessed technology that was centuries ahead of humanity in most areas. Their energy weapons, shields, and propulsion systems were incredibly advanced. But they had one critical weakness. They were still thinking in 3 dimensions. "Incredible," Tae-min muttered as he studied the recordings. "They never even considered that we might attack through folded space. Their entire defensive philosophy is based on stopping attacks that come from outside their ships. They had no protection against weapons that bypass normal space entirely." He quickly composed a report for Admiral Soo-Jin Han. The implications were staggering. If this alien fleet was representative of galactic military technology, then humanity had just gained a massive advantage over every species in the galaxy. In her underground command center, Admiral Soo-Jin was reaching the same conclusion. The quantum tunnel technology that humanity had developed was apparently unique in the galaxy. No other species had thought to weaponize folded space. "Ma'am," reported Colonel Min-Ho Park, "we're receiving a transmission from the surviving alien ship. Put it through." The image of Commander Veltar appeared on the main screen. He looked terrible. His uniform was torn, his skin was burned, and his eyes showed the shock of complete defeat. "Human Commander," Veltar said in heavily accented English, "I am Commander Veltar of the Zeridian Empire. I request permission to speak." "I'm Admiral Soo-Jin Han of the Human Defense Force," Soo-Jin replied calmly. "You may speak." "What? What did you do to us? What kind of weapons were those?" Soo-Jin considered her answer carefully. "You came here to destroy us. You brought 800 ships to kill every human in existence. Did you expect us not to? Defend ourselves? But your weapons, they're impossible. Our shields, our armor, nothing worked. How can you attack from inside our own ships?" "The same way you can travel faster than light," Soo-Jin said. "It's just physics. Different physics than you're used to, apparently." Veltar was quiet for a moment. "For 50 years we watched you. We studied your technology. We thought we understood your capabilities. We believed you were primitives with simple weapons. You were wrong. Yes, we were very wrong." Veltar looked around his ruined bridge. "My fleet was the most powerful force the Galactic Council has ever assembled. Ships that have conquered star systems. Ships that have destroyed entire civilizations. And you eliminated them in minutes." Soo-Jin leaned forward in her chair. "Why did you attack us? What did humanity do to deserve extermination? You didn't do anything, yet. But the Council believes you would have, eventually. Humans are violent, aggressive, expansionist. Give you a few more centuries, and you would have been a threat to galactic peace. So you decided to kill us first. Yes. It was meant to be a merciful death, quick and painless, better than letting you develop into something dangerous." Soo-Jin's voice turned cold. "Merciful? You were going to commit genocide and you call it merciful?" "Compared to what humans might have done to the galaxy, yes. The Council has seen your wars, your violence, your constant conflicts. Humans never. Stop fighting. You always want more territory, more resources, more power." And what makes you think the Galactic Council is any different? You just tried to wipe out an entire species because you were afraid of what we might become. That sounds pretty violent to me. Veltar had no answer for that. Captain Young-Soo Jang was listening to the conversation from his ship, the Busan Thunder. As he heard the alien commander's words, anger began to build in his chest. "Sir," his navigation officer, Haijin Kim, said quietly, "should we finish them off? They came here to kill everyone on Earth." Young-Soo considered it. One quantum tunnel, and the last alien ship would be gone. Justice for attempted genocide. But he waited to see what Admiral Sujin would decide. "Commander Veltar," Sujin continued, "how many species has your Galactic Council eliminated this way?" "I don't know the exact number. Maybe 50. Maybe 100. The Council has existed for 10,000 years. Whenever a species develops space travel and shows signs of aggression, we deal with them. You murder them. We protect the galaxy from chaos. We maintain peace by killing anyone who might threaten that peace." "Yes." Sujin was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was deadly calm. "Commander, you and your council have made a serious mistake. You believed humans were primitives who could be easily destroyed. You believed your technology was superior to ours. You believed we would die without a fight. All of those beliefs were wrong. Yes, they were. And now you're going to learn the consequences of being wrong about humans." On his ruined bridge, Veltar felt a chill that had nothing to do with the failing life support. "What do you mean?" "Oh, came here with 800 ships to commit genocide. You failed. Now we know about you. We know about the Galactic Council. We know about the other species you've murdered. And we know that our quantum tunnel technology gives us a decisive advantage over conventional galactic forces. You wouldn't. You can't travel between stars. You're confined to this one system." Sujin smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Commander, the same technology that destroyed your fleet can also transport our ships instantly across any distance. We don't need your slow hyperspace travel. We can open quantum tunnels to anywhere in the galaxy." The implications hit Veltar like a physical blow. If humans could travel instantly to any location, then no world in the galaxy was safe from them. The species that the Council had tried to eliminate as a threat had just become the ultimate threat. "Admiral Han," Veltar said desperately, "please, we made a mistake. The Council was wrong to attack you, but starting a war will only lead to more death, more suffering." "You started this war when you decided to commit genocide," Sujin replied. "We're just going to finish it." Throughout the solar system, quantum tunnel platforms were already being reconfigured. Instead of opening holes for weapons, they were being modified to transport entire ships. The same technology that had destroyed an alien fleet in minutes could now send human vessels anywhere in the galaxy in seconds. "Ma'am," Colonel Minho reported, "the first transport tunnels are ready. We can begin deployment of our forces immediately." Sujin nodded. "Commander Veltar, you're going to witness something that no alien has ever seen before. You're going to watch humans go from a single system species to a galactic power in a matter of hours." "What are you going to do?" "We're going to visit every world that the Galactic Council controls. We're going to free every species you've enslaved. And we're going to make sure that no Council ship ever threatens innocent people again." Veltar's ship shuddered as more systems failed. Through his view screen, he could see human ships beginning to disappear into glowing portals that opened in space itself. The first human ship to emerge from a quantum tunnel in alien space was the Soul's Pride. Captain Jinho Lee watched his screens as his vessel materialized in orbit around a planet he had never seen before. The world below was purple and green, with 3 moons hanging in a red sky. "Position confirmed," reported young Mi Seo from her weapon station. "We're in the Zeridian home system, exactly where Admiral Sujin's calculations predicted." Jinho nodded grimly. The quantum tunnels had worked perfectly. In less than a second, his ship had traveled thousands of light years from Earth to the heart of the alien empire. Behind him, more human vessels were emerging from glowing portals in space. "Sir," Young Mi continued, "I'm detecting a large fleet orbiting the planet. Looks like about 300 ships. They're moving to intercept us." "Same design as the fleet that attacked Earth?" "Yes, sir. Same technology, same weaknesses. Through." The quantum communication link, Captain Jin Ho heard Admiral Su Jin's voice from Earth. All ships, this is Admiral Han. You are authorized to engage any hostile forces. Show them what happens when someone threatens humanity. The Zeridian home fleet was already opening fire. Massive energy beams lanced out toward the human ships, but Jin Ho wasn't worried. He had seen this before. Young Mi, activate quantum shields. Space twisted around the soul's pride as quantum tunnels opened and closed rapidly, swallowing every incoming energy blast. The alien weapons simply disappeared into folded space, their energy redirected into empty dimensions. Return fire, Jin Ho ordered. Young Mi's hands moved over her controls, and quantum tunnels opened inside the enemy ships. The aliens had learned nothing from the destruction of their invasion fleet. They were still using the same tactics, the same technology, the same thinking that had failed so spectacularly at Earth. The Zeridian home fleet died just as quickly as their invasion force had. In 5 minutes, 300 alien warships were reduced to glowing debris. Not a single human vessel had been scratched. On the purple planet below, Zeridian civilians watched in terror as their mighty navy was destroyed by strange ships that seemed to bend space itself. They had never seen anything like the human vessels, which could make attacks appear from nowhere and disappear into nothing. Meanwhile, 15 light-years away, Captain Young-Soo Jang was leading another human force against a different target. The Busan Thunder and her escort ships had emerged from quantum tunnels near a massive space station that served as a Galactic Council prison. "Sir," reported his navigation officer, Hyejin Kim, "I'm reading life signs from over 40 different species on that station. Most of them appear to be held in containment areas." Young-Soo studied the data. The space station was enormous, easily 10 kilometers long. It was heavily armed and protected by powerful shields. Under normal circumstances, it would take a fleet of hundreds to capture such a fortress. But these were not normal circumstances. "Hyejin, can you identify the prison areas without harming the inmates?" "Yes, sir. The quantum sensors can map the entire internal structure of the station. I can target the guard areas and control systems while leaving the prison blocks untouched." "Do it!" Quantum tunnels opened inside the space station with surgical precision. Guard posts vanished into folded space. Control centers were ripped apart by dimensional tiers. In less than 2 minutes, the massive fortress was helpless. "Sir, we're receiving transmissions from inside the station," reported the communications officer. "Multiple species asking for help. They know we're attacking their captors." Young-Soo opened a general communication channel. "Attention all prisoners. This is Captain Jang of the Human Defense Force. We are here to free you. Remain calm and await rescue teams." Throughout the galaxy, similar scenes were playing out. Human ships were appearing without warning at council bases, military installations, and slave colonies. The quantum tunnel technology allowed them to strike anywhere, anytime, without the long travel times that normal space fleets required. Back on Earth, Admiral Su Jin was coordinating the largest military operation in human history from her underground command center. Dozens of screens showed human ships engaging council forces across hundreds of star systems. "Ma'am," reported Colonel Min-Ho Park, "we've successfully attacked 17 council strongholds in the last hour. Enemy casualties are estimated at over 2,000 ships. Our casualties remain 0. "What about civilian populations?" "No civilian. Targets have been engaged. Our forces are following strict rules of engagement. Only military installations and slave facilities are being targeted." Su Jin nodded. This was crucial. Humanity was not here to become the new tyrants of the galaxy. They were here to end tyranny. Dr. Tae-Min Cho was analyzing battle data as it flowed in from across the galaxy. What he saw amazed him. The Galactic Council had ruled through fear and superior technology for 10,000 years, but their entire military doctrine was based on conventional physics. "Admiral," he reported, "the alien species we're encountering all have the same technological limitations. They understand energy manipulation, matter conversion, and dimensional travel, but none of them have developed quantum tunnel technology. It's like they all followed the same scientific path and missed a crucial discovery." "Why do you think that is?" Su Jin asked. "I suspect it's because they've been controlled by the Council for so long. When one group dominates galactic science, innovation stagnates. They developed powerful conventional weapons and stopped looking for alternatives. And humanity developed quantum tunnels because we were isolated and had to find our own path. Exactly. We weren't influenced by galactic scientific doctrine, so we explored areas they ignored. On his dying ship, Commander Veltar was watching the destruction of everything he had known. Reports were flooding in from across the galaxy. Human ships were appearing everywhere, destroying council fleets and freeing enslaved populations. "Sir," his communications officer reported weakly, "we're receiving a transmission from the council capital world. They're requesting immediate assistance." Veltar almost laughed, but he was too tired. "With what? Our fleet is destroyed. Our homeworld is under attack. We have no assistance to give." "Sir, the Council is ordering all remaining forces to retreat to the core worlds for a final defense. Tell them it won't matter. The humans can appear anywhere they want, anytime they want. There is no safe place in the galaxy anymore." Meanwhile, Captain Jin Ho was receiving new orders from Admiral Su Jin. "Captain Lee, you are to proceed to the Council capital world. We've identified the location from captured databases. It's time to end this war at its source." "Understood, Admiral. What are our rules of engagement?" "The Council leadership is to be captured alive if possible. We want them to face justice for 10,000 years of genocide. But, Captain, if they resist—" "I understand, ma'am." The Soul's Pride and a dozen other human ships opened quantum tunnels toward the heart of the galaxy. In seconds, they had traveled further than any human had ever gone before. The Council capital was a massive planet covered in gleaming cities. Orbital stations surrounded it like mechanical moons, each one bristling with weapons. It was the center of galactic civilization, the seat of power that had ruled thousands of worlds for millennia. "Sir," Young Mi reported, "I'm detecting over 500 ships in defensive positions around the planet. They're powering up weapons." "Signal them," Jin Ho ordered. "Tell them they have one chance to surrender peacefully." The response came back immediately. A barrage of energy fire from every council ship in the system. Jin Ho sighed. "They never learn. Young Mi, show them what happens when they choose violence over surrender." The quantum weapons activated, and space around the council capital became a storm of dimensional tears. Enemy ships were ripped apart from the inside, as tunnels opened in their engine rooms, weapons bays, and command centers. But this time, something different happened. As the council ships died, they broadcast a signal that reached every corner of the galaxy. It was a message of surrender. "Attention, human forces," the signal said. "This is the Galactic Council. We formally surrender. We request terms for the cessation of hostilities." On Earth, Admiral Su Jin received the message with satisfaction. The war that had begun with an attempted genocide was ending with complete human victory. But ending the war was just the beginning. Now came the harder task of building something better. "All human forces," she broadcast. "The enemy has surrendered. Cease all offensive operations. Begin humanitarian assistance to liberated populations. The shooting war is over. Now the real work begins." Throughout the galaxy, human ships shifted from destroyers to liberators. They began distributing food and medical supplies to freed slaves. They started dismantling the Council's control systems. Most importantly, they began the process of teaching other species about freedom. Commander Veltar's ship finally died, its last systems failing. But before the lights went out, he sent one final message to his homeworld. "This is Commander Veltar of the destroyed invasion fleet. The humans have won. They have conquered the galaxy in a single day. But they are not like us. They are not here to rule. They are here to free. Perhaps we were wrong about more than just their technology." As his ship went dark, Veltar realized that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their quantum tunnels. 3 months after the one-day war that changed the galaxy, Admiral Su Jin Han stood on the observation deck of humanity's new flagship. The ship was called the Unity, and it orbited the former Council capital world, now renamed Liberation. Through the massive windows, she could see something that would have been impossible just a year ago. Ships from dozens of different species worked together in space, building new stations and dismantling the old symbols of oppression. The massive council palace on the planet below was being converted into a hospital and school. "Admiral," Captain Jin Ho Lee said as he approached, "the morning reports are ready." Su Jin turned from the window. Jin-Ho looked different now. The stress lines around his eyes had softened, and he seemed more relaxed. They all did. The desperate fear that had driven them during the invasion was gone, replaced by the satisfaction of work well done. "How many species have we contacted now?" Sujin asked. 412, ma'am. All of them have been freed from council control. Most are establishing their own governments for the first time in thousands of years. Any problems? Some disputes over territory and resources, but nothing violent. Dr. Tayman's diplomatic teams are handling the negotiations. It turns out that most species prefer talking to fighting when they're given the choice. Sujin smiled. Dr. Taymin Cho had become humanity's chief ambassador to the galaxy. His years of studying alien psychology had prepared him well for the delicate work of helping former slaves learn to govern themselves. What about the former council members? In custody, awaiting trial. The War Crimes Tribunal should begin next month. Representatives from over 100 species want to testify. Admiral Sujin nodded. Justice would be served, but it would be fair justice. The humans had learned from their own history that revenge only led to more violence. A young officer approached them. It was Lieutenant Boram Park, who had been promoted after her excellent work during the war. "Ma'am, we're receiving a message from Earth. President Chang wants to speak with you." Put it through. The image of Earth's president appeared on a nearby screen. "Admiral Han, congratulations on another successful month. The Global Council has approved your request for the next phase of the Liberation Project." "Thank you, Mr. President. What's our authorization?" "You are cleared to begin establishing the Galactic Federation. 57 species have already agreed to join. The preliminary constitution has been drafted based on human democratic principles, modified for alien cultures." Sujin felt a surge of pride. In just 3 months, humanity had gone from a single-planet species to the leaders of a galactic alliance. But they were not ruling through fear like the Council had. They were leading through example. "Sir, there's something else," Sujin said. "Captain Young-Su's exploration teams have discovered 17 more species that the Council was planning to eliminate. They're all still in their home systems, unaware of how close they came to extinction. Recommendations? I suggest we make contact and offer them membership in the Federation. They deserve to know what was planned for them, and they deserve protection from future threats." Approved. Anything else? Yes, sir. The quantum tunnel network is now complete. Any Federation world can request assistance, and we can have ships there in minutes. No species will ever again face extinction alone. After the call ended, Sujin walked back to the observation window. Down on the planet's surface, she could see former slaves from dozens of worlds working together to build new lives. Children, who had been born in captivity, were playing in parks that had once been restricted to council elites. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" said a voice behind her. Sujin turned to see Commander Veltar approaching. The alien looked much different then. He had during their first meeting. His injuries had healed, and he wore simple civilian clothes instead of a military uniform. Most importantly, the arrogance and cruelty were gone from his eyes. "Commander," Sujin acknowledged, "how are you adjusting to civilian life?" "It's strange," Veltar admitted. "For my entire life, I served the Council. I believed we were bringing order to chaos, peace to a violent galaxy. I never questioned our methods. And now I see that we were the chaos, we were the violence. The species we claimed to protect were the ones suffering under our rule." Veltar looked out at the busy space around them. "Your people could have killed me. After what I tried to do to Earth, you would have been justified. Instead, you offered me a chance to help rebuild." "Everyone deserves a second chance," Sujin said. "Even former enemies. The work we're doing here, helping former slaves learn to govern themselves, it's harder than conquest. It would have been easier to simply replace the Council with human rule. Easier, but wrong. Humanity didn't fight this war to become galactic emperors. We fought to ensure that no one would ever be galactic emperors again." Captain Young-Su Jang joined them at the window. His ship, the Busan Thunder, was currently exploring the far edge of the galaxy, making contact with isolated species and inviting them to join the growing Federation. "Admiral," he reported, "we've just made contact with the Corvani Republic. They're a federation of 12 worlds that somehow managed to hide from the Council for 3,000 years. Impressive. How did they manage that? They developed stealth technology that makes their entire star system invisible to most sensors. They've been watching the galaxy, waiting for the Council to fall. And now that it has, they want to join our federation. They're offering to share their stealth technology in exchange for quantum tunnel access. Sujin considered this. What do you think, Commander Veltar? You know galactic politics better than we do. Veltar was surprised to be asked for his opinion. The Corvani were always peaceful. If they managed to hide for 3,000 years, their technology could be very useful for protecting other species from future threats. Then we welcome them with open arms. Dr. Taemin's voice came over the ship's communication system. Admiral, please report to Conference Room 7. We have a situation that requires your attention. Sujin, Jin-Ho, Young-Soo, and Veltar made their way to the conference room. Inside, they found Dr. Taemin working with holographic displays showing the far edge of the galaxy. What's the problem, Doctor? Sujin asked. It's not a problem exactly. It's more of an opportunity. Our long-range sensors have detected something interesting at the galactic edge. Another galaxy, about 2 million light-years away. That's the Andromeda Galaxy, Jin-Ho said. We've known about it for centuries. Yes, but now we're detecting artificial signals from that direction. Structured communications, energy signatures that suggest advanced technology. Sujin felt a familiar chill. Another galactic empire? Possibly. Or possibly a species like humanity that developed advanced technology in isolation. The signals are definitely alien, but they don't match any known Council technology. Recommendations. I suggest we send a small exploration force. If it's another oppressive empire, we need to know about it before they discover us. If it's a peaceful civilization, we should offer them friendship and alliance. Veltar spoke up. Admiral, if I may suggest, approach them carefully. The Council made the mistake of attacking without understanding their target. Don't repeat our error. Sujin smiled. Good advice, Commander. Dr. Taemin, prepare a small fleet for long-range exploration. Diplomatic mission only. If we encounter hostiles, we retreat and report back. Yes, ma'am. As the meeting broke up, Sujin returned to her quarters aboard the Unity. She had reports to write, decisions to make, and a galaxy to help govern. But for just a moment, she allowed herself to think about how far humanity had come. A year ago, humans had been confined to a single star system, unaware that they were marked for extinction. Now, they led a federation of over 400 species, had technology that made them the most powerful force in the galaxy, and were preparing to make contact with other galaxies. But the most important change wasn't technological or political. It was philosophical. Humanity had proven that a species could gain ultimate power without becoming ultimately corrupt. They had chosen to be liberators rather than conquerors, teachers rather than tyrants. Her communication device chimed. A message from Earth, from her old mentor who had taught her about leadership decades ago. Sujin, the message read, I've been watching the news reports about your work out there. I'm proud of what you've accomplished. But remember what I always told you. True strength isn't measured by how many enemies you can defeat. It's measured by how many enemies you can turn into friends. Sujin looked out her window at the ships of dozens of species working together in peaceful cooperation. Former enemies were now allies. Former slaves were now free citizens. Former despair was now hope. The alien fleet had attacked first, believing they were eliminating a threat. Instead, they had awakened something much more dangerous than they could have imagined, a species that refused to become what it fought against. The age of humanity had indeed begun, but it was not an age of conquest. It was an age of liberation, and it was just the beginning.